You may remember AJ Investments. That's the group that last year pressured Ubisoft under the threat of creating a hostile takeover from the minority shareholders all the way up in order to answer the question of what's going on here and why is this stock price crashing so hard over and over and over again. Finally, AJ Investments is threatening now to have a protest outside of Ubisoft's Paris headquarters. This is a big deal being in Paris. They're scheduling it for May of this year. However, the issue that they have with the company isn't as simple as what you and I would have with it, like the games suck or whatever. What their problem is that they are citing mismanagement. Now, again, the games suck, right? You and I both recognize that, but under their understanding, the games suck because of mismanagement. Okay. Now, again, you and I both know that it goes much deeper than mismanagement. It goes all the way down into who is making these things and the ideology behind them. That it's not about the gaming experience, that it's about creating a political agenda and distributing that through any method possible. That's what it is. They are also complaining that the Gilmans, the people who run the company, Gimons, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I'm trying. And then Tencent, as well as the majority investors, are not really being transparent about what's going on at the top end of the company, about the decisions being made, about the investment money being put into the company. They're not being transparent about this. As well as apparently they are in discussions with Microsoft and EA to buy out Ubisoft. Now, we have monopoly laws over here in the US that'll probably prevent that, but Microsoft, under, the European law, could come to own Ubisoft on that end, and their American rights could belong to a shell company. Who knows at this point? I'm not sure what their plan is. I'm not up there on that end. That's just my speculation on it, okay? So, the issue is that with Assassin's Creed Mirage, right? This is the one that was before Shadows. This is Mirage, and the DLC apparently has a partnership with the Savvy Group. The Savvy Group, not related to the Geeks and Gamers contributor, Madam Savvy, not at all. The Savvy Group is an esports investment group. So they don't put on these events, but they put a lot of money into them to get them advertising and things like that. They're sort of that middleman to get the esports event going, and that's where Savvy is. And so apparently there was going to be some esports competition for Mirage, and apparently the Gilmons and Tencent and the people up at the top end of the decision making part of the company did not feel the investors needed to know that. I would think that would be a pretty big thing considering how important esports is right now to the entire market of gaming. So, either way. The thing that's preventing this protest from happening today, though, is that AJ Investments wants to wait for a strategic review to be completed by Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. Yeah, such trustworthy groups. And you want to hear from they want to hear from them on what the situation is and if this was sort of blown out of proportion or just how bad it is. This will also reveal the finances of what's going on behind the scenes as well. And so AJ Investments will probably find out more things that perhaps you and I know about that they didn't because they're not as invested in the current offerings of Ubisoft. Moreover, they're invested on what Ubisoft is offering them in return for their investments, you see? So this is the thing. So if the review basically rights the ship, okay? So if JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs come back with, okay, here's the plan to fix it. Here's the problems. Here's the plan to fix it. So if they come back and take care of that, then AJ Investment says they won't hold their protest and push to have that implemented, that plan implemented, rather than having the protest. However, if the review returns with a plan that doesn't improve shareholder value like immediately, they're going to protest because they're done with this. They're not going to play this give us 2 more weeks thing. They're not going to do that. They're also very, very pissed off about the concept of the buyouts happening, like I talked about with Microsoft and EA, and the Gilmans staying in control of all that because they seem to blame the Gilmans for all of this, even though you and I both know that it's probably Tencent, the one that's pushing for all this crazy stuff. But this feeds into the next piece of information. We were talking about this just a minute ago. It looks like Assassin's Creed Shadows is probably going to cost Ubisoft around $400 million to make. Now I know that's a magic number right now. Seems like everything that's bombing cost around $400 million to make. Ask Captain America: Brave New World how that's going for them. I think it was around 400 million to make it. They'll tell you it's 190, but all those reshoots don't suggest that. That's for sure. While the exact figures on Assassin's Creed Shadows aren't out right now, rumors are suggesting the production budget could range between 250 million and 350 million dollars. However, unlike the movie industry, where it's double your budget to get it advertised, it's probably around 40 million to get in there. So now, if you're keeping track, that's 390 million dollars that they're spending on developing this game, then getting it out into the market. And again, like, gaming's differently advertised than movies are. It's a whole different kind of thing. Like, they don't have to go through all the toy releases, all that sort of stuff. It is, if they want to, that's part of like a collector's edition sort of thing. It's a limited edition sort of sale thing, not a Walmart for sale thing. Like, you're not gonna find Yasuke plushies in Walmart unless somebody like unless Assassin's Creed Shadows deliberately goes out and puts that out there. What I'm getting at is that, like, in gaming, there aren't typically toy releases that, like, drive up the marketing cost of the movie because you have all the toy tie-ins. Again, it's one of those things, that you didn't see it, but your brain did. And so people are tagging into this that you're probably looking at like around $400 million because Valhalla, that released back in 2020, reportedly had a budget of around $200 million itself. Now, why that doubled is because Ubisoft went through and created this brand new environment engine that they're so very, very proud of. They also hired a bunch of historians very late in the game. Okay, remember they came out and they said, "Oopsies, we're now hiring these historians and cultural experts. Usually we would have hired them much sooner in this, but oopsies, we've done it now." And so they put that out. So I have to ask you, you know, when you look into this too, that they what I'm asking you is this, is that, like, can you believe that they would spend $400 million if you understand that they spent around $200 million on Valhalla altogether, getting it to consumers, including marketing? Okay. That's a lot of money to throw at this, and it doesn't look like it's going to return. You see, you go ahead and you take a look at all of these different instances where Ubisoft is advertising, even through their paid advertisers. The sponsored streaming that they've been doing. Hype around it isn't as high as it was for Valhalla. And even before Valhalla, I think Brotherhood was the last one that really blew the doors off of, the Assassin's Creed franchise. I think that was the last one that people were like, wow, really surprised with it. Then again, it was either Unity or Brotherhood that had the disappearing faces. We had floating teeth and eyeballs. I remember that one. That I think it might have been Unity. Either way, um, what we're looking at here with this is that Assassin's Creed Shadows, as it stands right now, is, looking at being around $400 million worth of investment, including marketing, in order to get this game done. Okay. Now, that's across a 4-year production. So far, 4-year production. We'll have to wait and find out. But that doesn't include the build up to it, right? That doesn't include the idea stuff that we heard about in 2014 from the original story crafter about Yamauchi Taka, the original intended protagonist for Assassin's Creed Shadows, when all of this got started back in 2014. So we're really looking at an 11-year production schedule when you get down to how this whole thing breaks down. But this also comes to us with some information about Sweet Baby Inc., right? Now, this is not new news, but we should remember here, we have Geralt of Gunia here reminding us that Sweet Baby Inc. Was part of this through the Assassin's Creed Shadows lead writer, Alyssa here, okay? I I don't know why that lady's a lead writer on that, but, you get your she-hers in there, I guess, and sky's the limit, I guess, I don't know. But you'll see right down here in the graphic, it also points out that there were DEI consultants with Sweet Baby Inc. on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Then Alyssa becomes the lead writer at Assassin's Creed Shadows within Ubisoft itself. And so this is one of those things we have to kind of connect the dots with this. I realize that Alyssa was a employee of Ubisoft and worked her way up into that, but I'm positive that that Sweet Baby Inc. thing didn't hurt her after what they had done with Valhalla. Okay? So this is just to make it very clear what's happening here, right? What's driving up all these costs, what's making it so expensive. And in the end, we might find that Kim Bel-Air's Sweet Baby Inc. was right at the middle of this, charging millions of dollars to consult them on Yasuke, the legendary Black Samurai. Could be another consultancy group too that came through and decided, screw that Japanese stuff, we'll just make it up. Ubisoft doesn't know the difference. Oh, well. In the end, you'll have to let me know what you think about all this information, but that's $400 million, guys. $400 million of Assassin's Creed Shadows, if you can believe it. I'll remind you that Yasuke Simulator probably cost a ham sandwich and a Red Bull. So, um, if that, who knows? So let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. And as always, guys, good luck out there.